in here, I'm like, we have to discuss if Shannon Sharpe is truly being disrespectful once again to Ocho, or if this is a publicity stunt. So, 2 months ago, when it came out about Ocho was being disrespected by his fiance in a restaurant, and then while he was live, he was talking about it, right? And then Shannon Sharpe, I noticed, was finishing Ocho's sentences as if he already knew what Ocho was going to say, as if she went and told Ocho, she went and told Shannon what the deal was. Like, Shannon is their friend, right? They in a relationship. And you know how it is when you're in a relationship with somebody? Y'all might go cry on one person's shoulder. So it appeared 2 months ago that it's possible that somebody already told Shannon Sharpe what Ocho was going to say, which is why Shannon was finishing his sentences. But something I realized, and I even asked this question in my video 2 months ago, I wear the exact same sweatshirt. I did a video 2 months ago. I had long braids. I had my hair in an updo with long braids, and the thumbnail is a broken heart, and Ocho is behind it, like catching the ball. So in my video, I said that Ocho was allowing himself to be disrespected, not only in his relationship, but many people, including myself, had talked about how Ocho was allowing Shannon to disrespect him. People had said over and over multiple times that some of the reasons they don't watch Nightcap no more is because Shannon, overtalks Ocho. He's disrespectful to Ocho. And then for a lot of people, the deal breaker was when Ocho was late to the set, when they was on live, and Shannon went off on him, was chastising him on the podcast. And people was like, okay, Shannon getting beside himself, thinking his new ESPN deal had him being arrogant, saying that he could talk to Ocho behind the scenes. He your business partner. You can't treat him like that. Well, something I noticed, and I know a lot of people noticed it too, was that Shannon used to call Sherelle out, who was off camera, and to try to get her to come into the conversation. And it seemed like Shannon was talking about getting Chad's then fiance on the podcast with the three of them on Nightcap. That's exactly when things blew up. That's what was going on. And I was like, hold on, Shannon. And I said this in my video. I said, Shannon, who are you loyal to? I just did a whole short today about how do you know when someone is loyal to you, right? Loyalty is defined as a strong feeling of allegiance and support, right? So we already see Shannon being disrespectful to Ocho. He always talking to Sherelle, who off the camera, bringing her onto the show. He wanted to get her like onto the show and make her the third member of the podcast. And people, including myself, were like, Shannon, you gotta talk to Ocho first. That's his woman. How you just gonna bring her into the show? And they clearly having difficulties in their relationship, right? That's where we were 2 months ago. Excuse me, y'all. That's where we were 2 months ago. I'm not used to talking this much. So it's taxing my throat. I had to take a cough drop. Hold on 1 second. So 2 months ago, thank you, I'm back. Today we're talking, thank you, Emmeline, and thank you, Raul. Thank you so much. So we're talking about Ocho and Shannon. Publicity stunt or just utter disrespect. So 2 months ago is where we landed. Ocho and Sherelle were having problems. It seemed like despite the problems they were having, Ocho was trying to still bring Sherelle into the fold. When Ocho was talking about his pain on how she had disrespected him, Shannon Sharpe was like, where Rail, you really did this, you really did that. He was ignoring what Ocho was saying. Ocho telling his story, and Shannon can be heard on the podcast To my rail, you really did it like that? Why are you talking to her? Why are you not talking to him? You see, and I said, you know what? This shiesty right here. I said, this shiesty. First of all, he's trying to bring her on to their show without talking to him first. And they clearly having problems. So essentially, Shannon didn't care 2 months ago that their relationship seemed to be going south. He just wanted to get her onto his show. And since they broke up, she went and started her own podcast. No surprise there, right? So a married woman approaches an NFL player. Is it any surprise that she wants access? No. So what happens? She starts her own podcast. What was announced today? Now, people are saying it's a publicity stunt, but I'm not really sure. So it was announced that her podcast that she went and started after her and Ocho broke up because Shannon was trying to bring her into the fold, which means they still been talking. That means her and Shannon are still talking. That's Ocho's ex-fiance. He was going to marry this woman. But his business partner still been talking to her. So much so that they landed on a deal to bring her podcast onto Shay Shay Media. Now you tell me, somebody need to go get Shannon Sharpe a Pooh Shiesty mask and give it to him because that's shiesty. People are saying it's a publicity stunt. That this is for the ratings, to get ratings for the new podcast. I'm like, really? So Ocho posted on X, and it's all over the place. He said once it was announced that Uncle Baddies is joining Shay Shay Media, Ocho posted on X, wasn't nobody gonna tell me about this? I just go get my own podcast. So, and then he came back and he said something else, and people were like, I don't think he knew. I think this is Shannon disrespecting Ocho again. I'ma just say this. So right now they on Nightcap doing their thing. What I talked about 2 months ago was that not only was she disrespectful towards him, I said they was tag teaming him. Shannon was disrespectful towards him. At the same time, she was disrespectful towards him. And I think it irked Shannon that they broke up because he wanted to bring her on to Unc and Ocho. So to me, it's a slap in the face to Ocho that they've been talking. They still been talking enough that they could put a deal together to bring her on to Shay Shay Media. That's shiesty. See, that's shiesty right there. Because I asked 2 months ago, Shannon, who are you loyal to? Who are you? Where's your loyalty? The answer is it lies with her. See, this not a good look. And it shows that whether the deal was done or he knew about it, I don't think he knew about it. I don't think he realized that they both were disrespecting him. I think the reason why he didn't pop off on her is because he been there before. Y'all know his situation. And he didn't want to go there. So they broke up and things were said and she started putting stuff out there about him to drum up business for the podcast, which was making him look stupid once again. And now here it is, she on Shay Shay Media. So essentially, she got what she wanted and Shannon got what he wanted, and they both used Ocho to get what they wanted. It ain't even been 2 months. Essentially, Shannon like, I ain't finna let the fact that y'all broke up mess up my money. Because he wanted to bring her on to their show. He didn't care what she thought. You speaking the truth, God bless you. I've been peeped. Hold on 1 second. What did it say? Mrs. What you say? I've been peeped that a long time ago. I wasn't wrong. No, ma'am, you weren't. Let me tell y'all when I first realized that Shannon can have some ways when it comes to women. So there are guys out there, right? They cool and all. But when it's a group of guys and a woman come along, like a pretty girl or whatever, and they start acting funny and like dissing the dudes and stuff like that, trying to make themselves look better in front of the woman, I peeped that game when they were live on tour and Sweetie came on the show. Did anybody else see how Shannon was acting when Sweetie came on the show when they was live in Vegas? Ocho was sitting over there and Shannon had his arm out and he was acting all giddy and stuff. I'm like, is Sweetie like 21 or something like that? And he in his 50s, and I was like, that was the first time I noticed it. That he was willing to make another man look simple to kind of get the attention and affection of a woman. And here we are. Here we are. He was gonna bring Ocho fiance on his show when Ocho was still with her, whether he liked it or not. And fans were not having it. They're like, Shannon, you wrong. Some people have said they got 3 million subscribers. Shannon feel like he can do whatever he want to do. Ocho, it's on him to make his move. Now, if this is a publicity stunt, it fits into what we've seen from Shannon. So it might be a publicity stunt to get people to watch the podcast, but it's not unbelievable. And it should be unbelievable, but it's not. And the reason why it's not is because of Shannon's consistent disrespect towards Ocho. Ocho got to decide for himself, bro, or you just gonna let this man continue to disrespect you, or you gonna get up and do your own thing. Bro, you already lost. You already lost. See, all that kikiing, and she was off camera, and Shannon kept talking to her over Ocho. See that was the beginning of this mess right here. And somebody else gonna end up in this same mess. And they gonna be like, I can't believe he would do me like that. I'm like, I don't know why not. I don't know why not. They been talking. See, when your woman is talking to your friend or your business partner behind your back and you don't know about it, this is the result of it. This is the result of it. And his ex and Shannon, and neither one of them don't care about Chad. Don't care about Ocho. That's crazy, yo. That's just crazy. I called this 2 months ago. And I peeped it when they were live in Vegas because how Shannon kept acting when Sweetie came around. I'm like, ain't nobody on the stage trying to talk to Sweetie. Why you acting like that? But there are some men, when it comes to a woman, they'll cut you down. It just don't matter. Even if it's your woman. Even if it's your woman, they'll cut you down. That's just how it is. And I hate it because the show is called Unc and Ocho. Shannon's supposed to be the Unc. But, you know, so people are just really trying to figure out if it's a publicity stunt or if it's just continued disrespect. Y'all let me know y'all's thoughts, because this is something else, bro. I tell you. I'm like, it hasn't even been 2 months, and I asked, Shannon, who are you loyal to? So basically, they want us to believe that Shannon went to Ocho first and say, hey, look, I know you and Rail broke up. I know y'all not together no more, but she got a good podcast. I'm thinking I could add her to Shay Shay Media and I could scale my podcast. Meaning it's not just my shows. It's not just Club Shay Shay. It's not just Unc and Ocho. That I can have other podcasters on my network. I get that. But if that's not what happened, if he truly saw it because he don't talk to her and Shannon don't respect him enough to give him a heads up, Shay Shay Media put out a post after Ocho said, oh, what, nobody gonna talk to me about this? Shay Shay Media put out a post that says, it's not personal, it's just business. Either way, once people got your number, like they know your weaknesses. And I think people around Ocho, they know his weaknesses. One thing about Ocho, he will try to justify anything to make something look good. And people that annoys some of the fans on Unc and Ocho because they like, bro, you can't just try to say everything is okay. And here we are. You see what happens? See, when you have a personality that you'll excuse away anybody else's behavior, people gonna walk all over you because they know you just gonna roll with it. So yeah, it might be a publicity stunt now because he ain't leaving. But all these conversations they have had, like, why would you do that? Of all the people all the podcasters out there with good, strong numbers, women too. Savannah James got a podcast. Why they didn't go get her? Isn't he a big LeBron fan? Why he didn't get Savannah James? It's called Everybody's Crazy. That's a good podcast. It's LeBron's wife, who Shannon is supposed to be a huge fan of, and one of her friends have a podcast. They cute. They got some nice looking women on there, and they got some good numbers. Why he didn't go get her first? Would have made more sense. The king of the NBA's wife got a podcast. Don't y'all think it make more sense for Shannon Sharpe to have gone and get LeBron's wife and put her on his podcast, sports? You see what I'm saying? Of all the people's podcasts he could have went and got, Mm-mm-mm. Just get him a poo shiesty mask, because he is shiesty. Yup, I'm telling y'all, this is crazy. This crazy. So yeah, I don't know if it's real, if it's fake, but different people are starting to talk about it. Marcellus Wiley said he personally believes that Shannon doesn't respect Ocho. I'm like, see what I'm saying? I'm not the only person saying this. And I'm coming from a woman's perspective. Marcellus Wiley is a man. Hell, he could have got Marcellus Wiley and put him on his network. You see what I'm saying? Marcellus Wiley has a strong podcast. He's into sports. Why not get Marcellus Wiley and bring him on to Shay Shay Media? You see what I'm saying? This so-called publicity stuff, this not gonna make me watch that podcast. It's just not. For one, a lot of people like Ocho, and they don't like how she treated Ocho. Hell, a lot of people don't like how Shannon treated Ocho. So why would I go watch that podcast? If he was gonna bring somebody truly on to scale his Shay Shay Media into a network, why not get LeBron's wife podcast? The king of the NBA, his wife has a podcast, and you don't go get her, and they got good numbers too. Yeah, see, I don't believe it was a publicity stunt. I believe this is what Shannon always wanted. It's just that when Ocho and Shannon, Ocho and his fiance were together, Shannon was basically talking over Ocho, kept bringing Rail on to the show, trying to get to where they are, where he could add her to the show. He didn't care back then what Ocho thought. So I don't think it's a publicity stunt. The fact that they broke up didn't deter Shannon. It sounded like he just kept having the conversations, and he got what he wanted. Something to do with her. Get him a poo shiesty mask. Y'all get him a poo shiesty mask and send it to him, because that's shiesty. I don't think it was a publicity stunt. I don't think they went to Ocho and said nothing, because they was going to do it before. When Shannon wanted to bring her on to the show, when Ocho was together, you could see she just kept wanting to be in front of the camera more, because that's what she always wanted. Shame, bro, this shameful, bro. This shit shiesty. This is shiesty. What makes her so interesting that anyone would want to follow her story? She not. She was just Ocho's fiance. And see, Shannon is a man and he likes women. It's obvious he likes to be around pretty women. And I think he wanted to do it anyway. He wanted to do it when they was together. He didn't care what Ocho thought about it. He was going to leapfrog Ocho and go directly to her and say, come on to the show with me and Ocho. That's why Marcellus Wiley is right. He don't respect Ocho. Publicity stunt or not, he don't respect you. When y'all was together, you was telling your story, he interrupted Ocho and started saying, Rel, that's what you was out there acting like that? I'm like, damn, he was talking. He was telling how she was being disrespectful, and he talking to her off camera. So no, it's not surprised that they in business together. But somebody better, y'all know who they next. This is exactly what's going to come of that favor. Stuff like this. And see, when people walk all over you like this and you let them, they just keep on. They just keep on. Allowing people to disrespect you does not make them appreciate you or respect you at all. And that's what Ocho needs to do. He needs to get up and go do his own thing. Because Shannon is just basically like, that's disrespectful, bro. That's disrespectful. So essentially, that's what I came on to say. It hadn't been 2 months since my last video. I'm wearing the same shirt. I asked in the video when Ocho was talking about how he was being disrespected and embarrassed by his fiance. My question was, Shannon, who are you loyal to? Who is your loyalty to? Ocho or his fiance? I think we have the question. So that's it. I just came on here to say, Lord have mercy. I like the way some people treat you in your own face and just shiesty like that. It's a lesson for everybody. Like, man, it's just sad. Be careful who you give your access to. And be careful about with your friends around your woman. That's all I'm going to say. This crazy. So I appreciate y'all hopping on here with me. I don't think there's anything that makes him think that she's special. Shannon out here wilding out doing what he want to do. He got 3 million subs on Nightcap. He got 1 million of them. He got them with Ocho. But I could tell 2 months ago he was really trying to get Rail onto the show, and he didn't let it stop him. He didn't let their breakup stop him. He didn't let her embarrassing Ocho going on to her podcast that he just signed up on his media. He didn't let the fact that she went on her podcast and said, I was still married when I started dating Ocho, and then people start saying, negative stuff about him. He's in the media. He has a job in the media, and you putting this kind of thing out there about him, and then she was saying this, and then she was saying he forced me to fly. Oh no, she said he made me fly Frontier and Spirit Airlines. We all know Ocho cheap. We all know he swear and live and die by Spirit Airlines. So you only saying these things to generate conversation for your podcast. And guess who went and ran and picked it up? Shannon Sharpe, Ocho's business partner, and I can't imagine that they friends in real life. So it's just a bad look because Unc and Ocho means that Shannon is the older dude. Ocho always trying to learn from Shannon, and this is the lesson that you teach him. So that's it, y'all. That's it. Y'all remember to hit the like button. It's crazy. Not even 2 months. So I really do appreciate y'all for rolling out with me. And I hope y'all appreciate the lives. It's just a way to kind of like put breaking news out, and I hope y'all enjoy it. So don't forget to hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Please subscribe. With friends like that, you don't even need no enemies. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.